So guys, I had to restart ZBrush. So I think this gives us the opportunity to show you how to load a file into ZBrush again to show. So first Control N, because I did this. Then I will close this by double clicking here, this side panel, and then we are left with this. So now, without closing this light box, we can close it, we can open it, it doesn't matter, but it's there. We can go to Load Tool. So in Tool menu, Load Tool, because we are saving from Save As in Tool menu. Now we are loading, Load Tool. Let's go to our Absolute Beginner ZBrush tutorial and this file, I think. So now nothing happens. In order to put the file into your canvas, you have to drag it in. And when you drag it, you can start working. So you drag again and what happens? Okay, basically you have to press Edit here, Edit Object, which is T, the T key. Or press just Edit Object. And now you can rotate your object, but you cannot see it. Why? Because you have all those objects above it. So let's disable Lightbox or just close it. And yeah, this is our object, obviously, but the others are also there. What to do? Control N is just new. Control N. I don't know if there's a button here for Control N, but Control N basically is making this emptying all your canvas from the things that you don't need. And now we can click on this material here and get our basic material, or we can just click on our basic material here to give it to the object. And of course, one more thing we have to do is to put our image here. So go to Texture, Import, and I think it was the crop. Yes, open it. Now go to Texture again, click on it, and put Add to Spotlight, this button here, Add to Spotlight. Press it. Wow, we have it. And now with this button in the top a little bit right, we have this, which we can touch and then drag on the sides. We can make it smaller or bigger. We will make it smaller and put it on the side right here. We don't need it because the sword, we will make it later. And we put it here by dragging inside this circle. Inside we drag, not in the center, because from the center, from the exact center here in this orange circle, we'll drag and move the circle itself. And then from here, you know, it's taking a little bit practice to get used to it. So now I'll press just Z on my keyboard to hide this circle and start working. But if you remember, by Z you can make the circle appear again. But if you remember, we have to do one more thing, which is go to Brush, because our brushes won't work, most of them, and turn down Spotlight Projection, which is the fourth menu, first, second, third, and fourth menu, samples, and then at the bottom just turn this down. And now we are ready to continue working. Now let's continue working on our legs. So I'm constantly changing my brushes through my short keys, which I recommend you to. But if you are not comfortable using short keys, you can change them from here, of course. It will be slower, but in the beginning you won't be that much that fast anyway, so maybe it will not be that bad for you. So I'm using now move brush, mostly the move brush, and trying to achieve some result, which is a base form for the legs. They are a bit, yeah, we have to achieve a base form that we will like for these legs. And I see we have here some kind of fabric in here, and also from the back we'll have some kind of a fabric also. But and I will tell you how to do this fabric. It will be very easy, but it will be later. Now I need to see how I will align the legs with the rest of the body, because here we have some empty nothing, some void, and we'll have to try to put the legs so they are I'm not sure how we will do it, but in the concept, they are going outward. The armors are going outward. But this is here, and probably some very tiny legs are starting from there. Who knows? But we'll have to do it as the concept, because it's looking kind of good. So I won't argue with the concept artist in this one. And I'm, yeah, sometimes I was about to say that I rarely argue with the concept artist, but sometimes it happens. I do it sometimes. So now, as we know a lot of things, I can show you just a bit more advanced things. Probably you're ready for this. A bit more advanced things like, for example, I want to make, let's disable perspective. I want to make this bottom of the legs very flat. How to do that? It will be, first I will go to Dynamesh. Let's try resolution of 48 for the legs. It's a little bit too much, but not too much, so it's cool. And I will smooth them with shift, just shift dragging around to smooth them. And now I will make this kind of thing, and this with the down standard brush. This is with Alt here because I'm making it inward, and this is with just the brush on Z-Add mode. Now I'm using high polish brush to make this flat, so because this is an armor. Then I will use here the down standard brush again, and here we may need to make this separate part, the knee armor. But we'll see about that. Probably we will make it a separate part. Why not? It will be cool. Maybe here we will have some kind of a area like this, and here. Yeah, just using the brush. You know, this tutorial is about the tools. Mostly about tools. It's not about how to make the character or stuff, but I can tell you a few things about the character creation. You have to be careful about the silhouette mostly. The silhouette of the character is, especially a character with this defined silhouette, is very important to have a good silhouette, you know, and that's what you have to be careful about. So we will be taking care of the silhouette mostly. I'm just yet to realize how big I want to make these legs, how fat. So I will again, yeah, I didn't tell you what I did. So I did this. I pressed W, this is Q. So Q, we are returning to our basic brush, whatever brush we are on. And W, we have the pivot. Then with Alt and drag on these angles here, I'm moving the pivot, and then I'm just rotating without Alt, just rotating, and then Q and move brush, and I'm moving this around. So from the side view, he looks a bit strange, but that's because he is going forward with his body, and he looks like he will fall. Probably he won't fall, but who knows. So for the advanced thing that I was talking about, let's see what I can tell you. Let's make those a bit shorter, and this a little bit shorter too. Yeah, we have to adjust it until we get it right, until I feel it's good. Now I don't feel it's nice enough, so I may have to inflate it. Let's see it the same size, and yeah, we'll have to inflate this part here and this part a bit, but just a bit inflation. So if we see, this is yeah, this is kind of the same, this is kind of the same, but this part is too low, so let's put it up. And I think this is better. This is definitely better. Those things we can just turn them like this. and those hands will be definitely bigger. So again, I'm using Alt click to go between my my subtools, and then I am just working. And you'll notice that I am sometimes speaking not softly but slowly, because it's kind of difficult. It's not super difficult for me, but it's kind of difficult to work and talk at the same time. Bear that in mind and don't judge me too harshly about this. So now this will be the hands. They are looking good. One of the hand we will pose with the sword probably at some point, but for now it's this. Yeah, the legs are pointing in some directions, but they are basically this shape that we want them to be. And I think now we'll do the advanced thing that I was talking about. We'll disable perspective for this one. So now go to Control Shift, and Control Shift, you know, is for this type of thing: hiding geometry, showing geometry, and showing everything. So let's go over that again. So Control Shift and dragging, and everything you cover with that with that green rectangle will be shown, and everything else will be hidden. If you want to hide something from this now, Control Shift and then Alt click, and it will become red, and then it will hide. And if we want to reverse our view, we can show the hidden parts and hide the shown parts. We have to drag, 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 and every time we drag with Control Shift pressed, we do this. And then if you want to show everything, just Control Shift click. And that's basically the thing. So now Control Shift, and you see we have here Select Rect Brush with Control Shift pressed. I'm pressing it now. And then we can click on it while pressing the Control Shift and go to Clip Curve Brush. Those are brushes that we can use when Control Shifting. Then Clip Curve Brush, and now I will release Control Shift and we go to High Polish again. Then when we press Control Shift, we go to Clip Curve Brush, and Clip Curve Brush is working like this, dragging from right to left, and then with space I'm moving it, and then it will flatten everything from the brush, from the line down. It will flatten everything up to the line. So now the polygons are there, it's not cut, it's just flattened, and I will smooth it, and it's going to be like this. So that's how I'm making all the legs of my character step exactly on the ground. That's the thing. That's the secret. So bear in mind, and I don't want this brush anymore, so I will Control Shift click and change again to Select Rect Brush. Select Rect. Tool or brush. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. I will smooth now this, and what I want to do is make those knee armor. How can I make it? It's pretty straightforward. I will make solo because I want to make them here, and I will mask a bit of an area here. So the masking area will be like this. It's not gonna be too much mask area. We need a bit. And the form, the shape of those kneecaps, we can change it, no problem, wherever we want. So I'll do this, mask by Control dragging. If I want to, you know, I'm making smaller or bigger my brush with bracket keys. I always use bracket keys, but you can go here and just, you know, do it from there. It doesn't matter. So now Control Alt drag will just delete the mask, and Control click, 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 click. Yeah, sometimes the click becomes drags and the mask is gone. But our point is we need this. I'm just refreshing your memory about the masks and stuff. So here we go to Subtool, we go to Geometry again, but Geometry is we don't need now. We go to Extract. On the bottom of Subtool menu is the Extract, and we just extract. and then we drag it and it disappears. So extract and then accept. We have to accept it. If we don't accept it, it wouldn't happen. So now you notice this gave us a few polygroups, and we can start working with polygroups again. Control-Shift-Click on a polygroup will hide every other polygroup in this subtool. So here we have 3 polygroups: outside, this border one, and inside. And the outside and inside, they look the same, but they are not. So Control-Shift-Click on the outside, and we hide everything except for this polygroup. And this, since this is symmetry, they are the same polygroup. So now we just go to del hidden, because we want to delete those hidden polygons or polygroups. Del hidden, and then we go to, let's try on the lowest setting, zero measure. Most of the time I do it on the lowest settings because it's much easier to modify with the move tool afterwards. So I modify it a bit with the move tool, but I kind of like the geometry that it's now. It's maybe a lucky thing, but the geometry is very good, so I can use it to make this lip, this kind of thing that is also part of the silhouette, so it's very important. So let's try from here. And yeah, from the because the arms are obstructing our way, I will have to hide them by just clicking on the eye icon here. It will be easier if you hide some parts of your object instead of trying to work around them. If they are on your way and you have to work, just hide them, and then you will very easily show them again. It's pretty easy. So now, if you're wondering why I'm seeing my my polygons, it's because of the polyframe is on. Yeah, I know that probably if you're watching this tutorial, you're completely new to ZBrush, so I'm repeating everything many times, so it will be embedded into your head. Hopefully, we'll see. So I want to now mask this area, and the bottom one too probably will mask both because this is going here. We'll see. So we go to the Z modeler brush in order to mask, and we go to this edge or this edge, it doesn't matter, but mostly this edge, and mask edge loop complete, and then we click, and we see we have masked all around the edge. So we reverse the mask, and now I will press my pivot, and I press now W, and my pivot is not here. So if you press W and your pivot is not here, it's someplace else. Yeah, it's there. But if you cannot see the pivot now and you need it to be here, you just alt click somewhere on the model. Even here we can, no, it's not that. So alt click on the subtool, yeah, and then the pivot will appear, but you have to adjust it because it will appear as a normal to the surface you clicked on. So if I click alt here, it will appear there. If you alt click here, it will be there. So bear that in mind. I'll have to alt click this and then this. So the pivot will go first, reset the orientation of the pivot, and then go to unmasked mesh center. So alt this and then alt this. And then we can just drag this in front and adjust it and make it bigger, probably. But when you're resizing things that are symmetrical, you have to be careful. I will Control Z a few times. Put local symmetry on. It will be much better. And now we can resize it, and we can alt rotate, then resize like this. And yeah, since it's masked, I can also do it manually with a big move brush and just move it like this. And the bottom one is not that pronounced, but I will do it anyway. And make it more squarish in this area. And I think it's starting to look nice. Of course, we will disable the mask by control dragging, and then I will be with the big move brush, I will put it closer to the legs themselves, because it was a bit on the far side, and now it's looking almost like the concept. Of course, we need more work to be able to do it as in the concept, because the concept is good. And as good as you make your model, as well it will be received in the community. If you put a lot of work on it, it will be visible, especially if your work is good, of course. And then you can expect more to sell yourself, like your work, more expensively. You will have job offerings and stuff. So, but don't think about it now. Think about just practicing with ZBrush, because ZBrush is a very good program. You can express your creativity very good with ZBrush. Of course, with Photoshop you can do it also, but this is 3D, and it's for me it's a little bit more fun to be able to go around the object, to be able, after I make this, to go ahead and print it, for example, which is a very, very nice option. Print it in 3D printer. Of course it's expensive, but you will have something that you can touch that is made by you, which is very, very nice, and I like that. So yeah, we should see the hands, they're looking good, perspective, and the model is starting to look pretty nice. And we'll have to we'll have to go to the other video now. Just end this and go to the other one. But for now, thank you and goodbye. So let's continue working on the legs a little bit more, and we'll see what we do next. So for the legs, I will disable the mask by just control dragging. And if you don't have a mask on your model, when control drag here beside your model, and you don't have Dynamesh, let's see, Dynamesh is on. Yeah, so control click is just masking the whole object, the whole subtool, or the visible part of the subtool. For example, if we control shift drag and just hide most of the leg, and then control click to mask everything, we will not be masking the hidden part. So when we control shift click to show everything, we'll see that we have masked only this part. This is used sometimes combination of polygrouping, hiding, and showing, and everything is used to mask certain areas if you want. But yeah, it's a little bit more intermediate usage, although I think I've shown you very good how to use the masks and polygroups, and now I'm just making this flat, because if we try to use the tool that we have used here for the bottom of the feed, it will not work that much, because we have symmetry and this is here, and if we do this here, it will flatten also this part, it will be bad. So we have to know when and where to use our tools, basically, and this is good to know. But if you don't know, then you don't know. It's yeah, I'm sorry, I have to teach you, but I will. The thing is that you will know by yourself when to use things and stuff when you have practice. The practice is everything. Without practice, nothing can happen. So be careful to have practice. So this, as we can see here, is a little bit sharper on the image. So basically I will sharpen it, but not that much, just a little bit. Then we have to work a bit more on the legs, a bit more on other things, because yeah, we want a good looking image. So what have I done now? I just want to extrude parts of this, but not extrude, but just move them up. So this is, for example, this will be the leg. So what can I do? First, I will do this. Mask certain area here, invert the mask. And then I will move this area with my pivot. By clicking W, I'm going to the pivot again. And I will move it inwards. First inwards and then outward. And then I will have this. Let's dynamesh it. Now it's cool. It was cool before, but now it's cooler. Cooler. And then I will get this certain part from inside, invert the mask by control clicking outside the object, and then this will be the legs, and I will dynamesh again. And I think that's completely good. Let's see. Okay, yeah, the legs will go like this here inside. And yeah, this obviously won't be visible because we will have a certain plane here in front and probably in the back also. But since we want everything to be perfect, I will do it, and I did it. So now about the plane. I will show you how we will do the plane. It's very easy because we can use almost anything. We can, for example, even from here we can extract one and make it a plane. We can take this, for example, and I will do this. So let's see this and just duplicate it. So duplicating meshes is just pressing this button, and delete will be this button. When we delete a mesh, it will ask us, this is not an undoable operation. Are you sure? I'm not sure. I don't want to delete this. I want to duplicate it. So be careful to check out what ZBrush is warning you. So duplicate will not get any warning because this is obviously an undoable operation. We can delete this and we will be left how we was or how we were. And now we are on this duplicated mesh. I will Control Shift click to isolate only this polygroup. Then I will Control Shift Alt drag. And then I will Control Shift Alt drag again those. And then I will be left with this del hidden. I will delete the rest. I will get my pivot, Alt click to get it here. And then I will Alt click here and here. And I will drag this again like this. And then we have this thing. This thing is not exactly perfect, but it will do. What I mean by it will do is that this is kind of a thing we need. So now it's not symmetrical, as you can see, it's lost its symmetry, but mirror and weld here will make it symmetrical again. It's very good button, that's why we have it there, because it's very easy to use it. We don't use it that often, but still it's very, I will show you where it is. So it's in geometry, modified topology, mirror and weld. So it's a little bit hidden. I like to have it there. And now I will go and zero mesh at 0, 1. And now we have this plane. This plane is what we want. And of course it is here, but it's not a problem because we will get our pivot and just place it in front. And since this is our front plane, it should be flipped to be able to see it from the front, of course. Now we will just place it. Let's see. Okay, this is not good. If you want to make it narrower, you have to Alt click on the pivot and move it to the center, as close to the center as possible, and then make it narrower, and then make it smaller like this, and move it. And basically we will have this kind of thing. I will increase my move brush and move it, and then move it maybe inward a bit more. And yeah, it's a little bit strange, but this is just a placeholder. We will probably make it better because there are 1, 2 planes there, so maybe we should make them like they are in the concept. Let's try to do that. How? I'm just moving. So this, I will again move my pivot to the center and make it narrower. Then I will zero mesh it at the lowest possible resolution, and I will zero mesh it until I get a good topology, because now my topology, especially here at the corners, is completely I don't know why, but it's complete bullshit. It's not good. So yeah, now it's getting better. But why? This is a corner here. Make it a corner. What is this? I'm not sure, but I'm clicking zero mesh until I get it. Or I wouldn't be able to get it, so I will do this. Very easy. Control Shift, drag, Control Shift Alt, drag, and we'll get this. Yeah, when some polygons just don't want to work, I delete them, and then, yeah. So del hidden, zero mesher again, and now it's fine. It's better, at least. So, this thing, I will make it flat again, like this. I will disable symmetry by clicking X and move it here. Then I can do two things. I can duplicate it and move it and make it smaller to make this piece, this here little piece, or I can do this. If you don't have subdivisions on your subtool, you can control click on this and move, and you will duplicate your geometry in the same subtool. So now this both are in the same subtool, but this is masked. So we will make this smaller and put it here and in front a bit. And these are same subtool. It's very cool. So this is used sometimes for teeth and other stuff. Monster teeth we can make, or whatever, even human teeth we can make. The other thing I want to do is solo this, and then with the standard brush I will go from up down, so without this, just to make some to look a little bit more interesting, some folds to make with the standard brush, with the normal standard brush, and then alt standard brush, and I'm making this kind of things. So this will look more interesting, not just flat thingy. And it's not perfect, but it will do for now. We can even pretend this is bigger at the top, and then at the bottom it became narrower, smaller. Yeah, and you can notice that I am doing everything that we have talked. I'm just rotating the model around, moving, and doing everything with some brushes that we know already. All the brushes we know. So it's nothing to talk about that much, because all the brushes are known to us already. This thing, I think we have to move it a bit up like this, because you see the shoulder is here, and this part, the bottom part of the armor is very close to the shoulder. So you have to look at those things in order to make your concept work, because if you don't, your concept will be your model will be far away from the concept, and sometimes this is not a good thing, because sometimes you will lose the soul of the concept itself, and this concept has a lot of soul because of these things, you know. And now we will move the legs a bit upwards. How? Just pressing W. W will get our pivot. Then we'll press this button here on the far left of the far right of all the pivot buttons that are above the pivot. Pressing it will get us to select multiple subtools. So I'll remove my perspective because it's not good. And now you see I have only these tools selected. So I will make a selection with Control Shift outside, and then I will make a selection with Control Shift inside here. So I will get to be selected only the legs and this thing in front, and I will move them up like this. And then you can notice that this fist is going to end right under the knee area here, so it's exactly what we want. And now I just remove this, then Q to remove the pivot, and it's cool. So Q and W are very comfortable to use keys because they are very close to your left hand. So don't be afraid to use them to call the pivot and to to call it out, to call it in and out. Yes. So the other thing I want to do is make sure that we have this lip also here in these things. How? Let's try with the standard brush just to push it. With the big standard brush from distance, maybe we can push it, or we can just move it with the move brush, just little by little. And yeah, this is a hack. I mean, it's not like we are using a low poly, which we have to use probably, but it's working sometimes, and it's maybe a little bit faster, but probably we should do it with the low poly. But if I do this and then do a low poly, we will have already achieved what we need to achieve. I'm not sure we need a low poly here, but we'll see. Low poly means zero mesher, of course. Probably we can do it or just sculpt. Sometimes if you are a traditional sculptor or something, you just want to sculpt. Don't want to mess up with this zero mesher things and everything. Everything could be done with sculpting without those tools, but those tools are there to make your life more easy or easier. Because traditional sculptors, their life is miserable because they don't have symmetry, they don't have zero mesher, they don't have dynamesh, they don't have everything, so they have to do everything by hand, and those things they should do by hand. So yeah, but if you're a traditional sculptor, maybe you can do it by hand and still be happy with it. Who knows? So now I'm using various brushes, like pinch brush for example here with Alt, just to make this lip, as I said. Okay, now it's starting to look pretty nice. Let's make thickness for this particular thing. And yeah, we go to Z modeler brush, we go to some, let's polyframe to see, go to some polygon, press space, and now by default is Q mesh. We can try now, because I would go to extrude all polygons, but we can go to Q mesh, all polygons. Let's see what happens. It's the same as extrude with a few little differences, but I won't be able to explain you because there are just some cases that the Q mesh is different and it's better. But in some cases, when we just want to extrude, we better use extrude, you know. When we want to extrude with some things in mind, then we can use Q mesh. But in our case, extrude will give us the same result probably. Let's see, this is not flipped. Okay, I think we flipped it. So it's nice now. And now I will show you dynamic subdivision. When we have armors or hard surface like this, I always, when I make thickness, I always use dynamic subdivision to be able to see what will be the result of my mesh after I make subdivisions. So subdivisions are when we do this Control D or divide. When we subdivide it one, it will be 4 times as many polygons, it will be smoother. Then another time 4 times the polygons smoother and stuff like this. Every polygon gets divided by 4 when we divide. But if we don't want to subdivide but just see the result, we can dynamically subdivide. Dynamic subdivision is here. We open it and just press dynamic. Or we just press D on the keyboard and it will say, would you like to activate dynamic subdivision instead? Always yes, it's cool. So now this will be the result. But this, the dynamic menu, let's see it. Dynamic, on, off, now on. And we will use only dynamic and smooth subdiv. So how many levels of subdivisions it will make by not making them, but just visualize them. So it will be 4 levels, for example. It's fine, but it's a little bit smooth. It's not that good. So we go to crease. We'll use dynamic subdivision and crease at the same time. So here in crease, we will go always crease level 1 or crease level 2, and then tolerance 45 it will be, and crease. That's all, that's it, just 1 and crease. And now we see some corners appear. The crease now is making every angle bigger than 45 degrees here to be sharper by 1. If we make it 2, you will see crease, how everything became sharper. And maybe 2 is better, but we have to increase the dynamic subdivision by 5, and let's see how it looks. Maybe 1 is better. Let's see 1 again. 1, crease. I'm not exactly sure which one is the best, but let's keep it at 1. We go to Z modeler brush because I want to make this corner also sharp. But since it's not bigger than, it is. It's creased. Oh, interesting, very interesting. Why it's creased and it's not that sharp? I want it sharper here. So, if I want it sharper, I should go to crease level 2, for example, then go here, go to crease, edge loop complete, so edge, I go to an edge, press space, crease, edge loop complete, and then press it. And then it will crease everything, but it will crease everything that it's this edge loop, but this edge loop is, let me see. Okay, so it creases every other crease also, but doesn't crease this, for example, because we don't want this to be creased. Although it doesn't look super bad, but it's not as the concept. And I will inflate. Okay, saving. ZBrush is telling us by saving that we have to finish the video. But yeah, the crease level will be 1 at this point. I mean, 1 is, I think, better. And we can inflate the whole model like this. This is not the whole model, but just those shoulders. And how we can make them sharper on those edges, we have to add edges by going to Z modeler brush, then going to an edge, press space, insert, single edge loop, and we insert an edge loop here, insert an edge loop here. And now they are sharper as they should be. And of course, we can always go to our move brush, and just fix what we think it should be fixed. And of course, that's not all. We can always move and fix. The thing is that we don't have real subdivisions here, which is cool. This is our model basically, and this is just a show of subdivisions. How I do this? Getting to this or this again. It will shift D is one subdivision down, and D is subdivision, is basically lower less, shift D, and higher res is D. You know? And since we don't have higher res, it's going to dynamically subdivide. We will continue in the next video, but now our model is starting to work. I think you have knowledge already for the basic things, and we will continue a little bit in a faster pace, probably. Yes. Hello guys, it's me again. I know it's getting a little bit ridiculous that I'm always here, but yeah, it just has to be. So now I'm seeing this and I'm noticing that this thing is a bit smaller. So let's make it bigger. When you want to make something bigger but only on one side, you just get with Alt your pivot on the top of it, and when you drag this, it will just scale the rest of it down from the pivot center. So we want it to be at least through here. Then we will start making the hand or the arms. But first, let's just pay a little bit of attention to what? To the shoulder. Because the shoulder, I noticed that this shoulder is going up like this one, but this shoulder is going down. It's almost horizontal here. So let's try and make it a bit like this. And it's lagging a bit. Why? Because we are on a big Dynamesh level. And also we have subdivisions. I can't believe that. So we will delete subdivisions. This means here that we have subdivisions and also we have dynamic subdivisions. Then it is lagging. So first I will go to my first subdivision, and second we have just two. But we go to the lowest and then del higher, and now we don't have higher subdivision. We don't have any subdivision except for the dynamic one, and we are okay. That's what we want, at least for now. What else we want to do? We want to increase this flat area here, this flat area, because we will put some spikes there. But it will not be now. I want to just take the hand and start making it. So I will press this solo button here in the bottom. And the solo button is button is very important. It will allow us to work on the hand very easily, on the arm. Okay. So now I will go to Dynamesh and Dynamesh it. Let's try at 45 resolution, for example. 48, okay, no problem. 48 will be nice, and you'll see what happens here. And I can easily delete this and then mirror, so I will do that. I will go to my if I try to hide this, because deleting is basically hiding and then they'll hidden. If I try to hide this, you know, with Control Alt Shift drag, I cannot do it because it's symmetrical. So I will disable symmetry by pressing X and then hide this, then del hidden, and then I will press symmetry again, although I don't have any symmetry. So I didn't tell you about the local symmetry. So the symmetry basically, if we go to the floor, is the normal symmetry is, this is the center of the normal symmetry. I'm sorry that I'm stuttering, but sometimes when I'm very excited, I do that. So this is the center of the symmetry. This is the normal center of the symmetry. But when we are on local symmetry, the center becomes the center of the object itself. So the object is from here to here, and then the center is somewhere in the middle. So that's why we don't need symmetry now. We will disable the floor also, and we will work only on this model. We will start to make some thumb. Then we will make 1, 2, 3 fingers. We'll make some things here. We'll smooth everything. Yeah, making the hand from zero, from nothing, it's not an easy and super easy task. It requires a bit practice, and if you want, you can practice on this model, you know, because this model is pretty easy. At least it looks easy. It's not exactly super easy, but it's, yeah. So let's see, we will have a thumb here, and then this finger will be there, and the thumb. And I'm basically, I like to put some geometry, to put some like clay, with the clay tubes brush. The clay buildups brush, there is a clay buildup brush, which can also do this work, but I don't use it that often, which is probably a mistake. But if you want to try it, just try it, clay buildup brush. It's a very good brush for this kind of work. But for now, let's take our dumb standard brush and try to achieve some things here. So this will be like this, and then it will come through here. Okay, I'm just with Alt, I'm doing this. If you are using your Alt, your dumb standard brush with without modification. By default it will be on the sub, I told you that, so by default you will subdivide with it. Not subdivide, you will subtract. Not add but subtract. So the sub or the add, you know. Now I'll press 4 to get my move brush, move here, then smooth, moving, smoothing, and adding geometry. That's what I'm doing here. Yeah, this fist can be done by making fingers stretched and then pull them together, but it will be a lot, I think, a lot difficult to make this fist. It will require a lot more things, although, yeah, but no, let's make it like this and we'll see how it goes, but I think it will be okay. Yeah, for like 5 minutes already we have something that resembles a fist, so it's not that difficult. Yeah, if you don't have anything that resembles a fist in 5 minutes, don't be discouraged, because I have a lot of practice of making fists, and although I have a lot of practice, I still am not able to make a decent fist for less than 5 minutes. So yeah, probably for you it will be 30 minutes or something like this, which is not exactly too much. So just bear in mind, I'm a professional, and I'm not saying don't try this at home. On the contrary, try this at home. It's important to try this at home or at work, whatever. It's it's up to you where you want to try this at. So I think it's kind of good. We have to bear in mind that in one of the hands we will hold, he will hold, we will not, obviously, but he will hold a sword. So we'll have to have that in mind. I'll make this a bit more in this area, smooth. Then with down standard brush, take this. I will make this separate mesh, probably this thing, which will go up to here, and this will be the elbow armor. I'm just marking where the things will be, and probably I will make them separately, except if I like them like this. We'll see. Maybe I will say, okay, they are pretty good like this, and I will leave them. But yeah, it's up to us, you know, we decide. It's not exactly a rocket science. We just need to decide whether we want to make it from polygons or from separate polygons, or just leave it like this. I want to make pronounced elbow here, because this is an elbow armor and it's more pronounced, and it will give us a better silhouette here, or there, or anywhere for that matter. I'm sorry if my mount is not too much visible sometimes, because yeah, when I sit on my chair I tend to collapse a little bit by little, and yeah, I will go up a bit. Now I think it's better. Okay, we see the arm is starting to look nice. Let's see it compared to the other part of the body. Okay, it should be more in the front, so I will get my pivot by pressing W. I'll move it here where is the shoulder, and then move it forward. This way it will be like in the concept, a little bit in front of the legs. Let's see if it's too big. I'm always comparing. It's not too big. I think it's kind of the right size, but it's, we'll see. So the thing is that I'm noticing here, and you probably are too, that we have the elbow here, the elbow armor, and this armor, and everything is visible, and here it's not. Probably everything should go down a bit more, so the elbow should be way down. It's not very, yeah, you know, because if the shoulder is here, then this is too big. And yeah, in 2D, some things are looking one way, and in 3D, they don't look like that good, you know. So we'll have to be careful about that too. So now let's make some shoulder muscle and the biceps, but they should be very, very, very stylized. So we don't need them that much because this is all an armor, and probably he has some kind of an armor below that. But who knows, maybe he doesn't have, and he has just a muscle. You don't have to do this, of course. I'm doing it just for my own fun, because I like to do anatomy, and you can see that in my YouTube channel. I have a lot of anatomy videos, not that much, but I have some. I have a video how to make a hand from cube for I think 30 minutes or an hour, I'm not sure, maybe 30 minutes. I have female and male head videos, how to make a male head from sphere for 1 hour, and how to make a whole male body from sphere for 1.5 hours with fingers and everything. So yeah, it's kind of fast, but don't worry, I have trained a lot for those videos. I have prepared for those videos for, yeah, they are just hour or 1.5 hours videos, but I have prepared for months, yeah, weeks, let's say weeks for those videos. So yeah, and my YouTube channel of course is Speedchar, like yeah, the same with the logo, like those videos here. You can check it out. So if you have gone this far into the tutorial, it's good for you because you already know most of the things that you should know to just start sculpting. And if you don't know something, you just can go back and see the tutorial about it, the video about this particular thing, masking or moving around, navigating in ZBrush and stuff, and you will be okay, I think. If not, you can always ask me. I can help you with little advices here and there. It's not a problem, of course. Yeah, the idea of these videos is for people to learn and to be able to know and to be able to work with ZBrush to express their creativity. Like I always say, express your creativity with ZBrush is very good. So you can try that. If you like it, better. You can watch my other tutorials. They are more advanced, of course. I don't explain that deeply masking or polygroups or everything. I'm just forward working and yeah, showing how to make a realistic character, for example, in ZBrush. How to make an orc. I have one tutorial, but those tutorials, I've sold them. I mean, they are made for other party, so it's not me I'm selling them, but you can watch them anyway. They are useful, so yeah, I'm not getting money from them, but it doesn't matter. What matters is for you to learn. If you want to learn, if you like my voice, and if you like my English, probably not. Some people like my English. Why? My English is good mostly for foreigners. I mean people that don't speak English in their mother language, you know. The other people that their mother language is English, they don't like my English at all because it's too much accent for them. But for Russians, for Serbians, even for Spanish speaking people, I think it's good enough and it's pretty understandable. I think I'm gonna sneeze. It's very unprofessional. Good. I'm sorry about that. But you know, in my videos I try to explain things and everything. I don't keep this formal attitude or something. I just like to speak freely about a lot of things. That's just my style. So I tend to do things that other people are not doing. Sometimes I even sing. You're lucky that I don't feel like singing now, because my singing is not my best skill, obviously. It's not obviously because I'm an artist, so I could be able to sing eventually if I was able to sing, but I'm not. So let's Dynamesh and see what happens here. And we have a decent, not perfect, but decent hand. Arm. I'm always saying hand while I mean arm, but whatever, it's normal. And you notice that I'm moving just a little bit the things just to see what's what. Because when we have something, when we already have something, we can easily move it around and do something with it. And if we don't have anything, we can't. So now, let's do what? Let's separate probably this part and this part and make them a separate meshes. But this will be if we like the hand. We don't yet like it, because after we separate the meshes, it will be a little bit difficult to move them together. It will not be super problematic, but I like for everything to be clear before I start separating. The fist is never straight, it's always like an arch. Especially if it's clenched very, very tightly. If you look at your own fist, for example, like this, you will notice this is an arch. It's not like straight, it's arching. From below also a little bit of an arch. Yeah, it has to be interesting looking. So it shouldn't be straight something. It should be an arch, probably. And now we have the hand, the arm. Let's mirror it, just mirror and okay. And it's looking great, I think. Let's move this armor so it's covering more here. And we don't have time for anything else in this video, but now our model is starting to look pretty good because of the hands. And yeah, they were the last thing that we haven't done at all. And we have the cape. Maybe in the next video we will make some cape, and probably we will start making the sword. We'll see if we will have time. But for now, yeah, we have made the hands, the arms. We may also want to refine them a bit more, but we'll see. I don't know what we will do in the next video because I still haven't made it. So yeah, go ahead and see what we have decided to do. Bye. So let's talk about something else here. What do I want to talk about? It's about how your model is looking in the beginning and how it will look at the end. So in the beginning, as you saw, it was looking too bad, and that was not something that I'm afraid of. I mean, that was not frightening me. I was just keep doing what I have to do, and suddenly the models start to appear pretty nicely. And you are seeing that with your own eyes, because now this is the video number 13, fatal number, so probably we will do something very bad with the model and the model will be ruined. I'm joking, of course, it's not gonna happen because I have saves, and unless my hard drive just explodes, probably we will be okay. But we need to make the cape. So how to make the cape? It's pretty easy to make the cape these days. And I will show you how we can append again something. Now you will see how many subtools we have and how many. There I think 17 or 27, I cannot say exactly, but we have, no, this is not, this is our mesh. Let's see, visible count. Okay, we have 9. Okay, it's not too much. 9 subtools, or 8 or 9. Yeah, let's say 9. Okay, we will add one more. And how to add subtool? We go here in the subtool menu, or in the tool, subtool, because subtool is here. Subtool, we open it, and we go to append. I always append instead of insert, because insert I think will replace, but I'm not sure, and I always use append. So let's use append. And now we are in this menu. We can make those spikes on the shoulders from here, but we don't need that. We need a plane 3D. Let's click it. And now we have this plane. Where is it? It's in the head. You can see it below the head here. When I step on it or just press on it, you can see it, it's behind the head. What we'll do is, when we are on it, we'll press W to get the pivot and move it back. And from the back view, we will see nothing. Why? Because this is a plane, it's one-sided. So we'll have to look it from here and we will be able to see it. Other thing that I wanna pay attention to is that the background, let's forget the cape for a minute. The background is a bit light. Let's make it a bit darker. How to make the background darker in ZBrush? Very good question. We go to document, and here you can see nothing because it's a little bit hidden. It's here, back, you know, document, background color. Even now, these days, when I haven't changed the background too often, I forget where it is. And even I cannot see it, like I open document and say, it was not here. I open draw and I say, it was not here. Where was it? And I notice, okay, it's here. It's a little bit hidden, but what you have to do to change the background is click on it and nothing happened. So click and hold. And I'm holding now either the mouse button or I'm just pressing the tablet. And now I'm moving and the color that this pic moves on will be the color of our background. So I usually go to one of my materials here and from there I can check my color if I want it to be more black or something. Let's make it a little bit darker like this. So this will give us a bit more contrast for our model to see it better. And now I cannot see good the plane, but whatever. I've shown you how to change your background color. Now it will be like this. As of course, when you restart ZBrush, it will be back to the default. And there's a way to change that, but well, we don't have to talk about it yet. Also, I want to talk about the perspective here a little bit. So from draw menu here, from draw we don't use anything here, anything. We will use the perspective. It's the same button like here, perspective, like this one. It's the same. So if you, for example, enable customize and get rid of your perspective button, but and you don't have perspective, yeah, you can press P. One press will be disabled in perspective and the other will be enabling, but you won't be able to see it exactly. So you go to draw and you get the perspective with Control Shift, Control Alt, and put it back there. So yeah, there's a way of everything. The perspective now is 50. By some standard it's 50. If we do it 18, it will be super big. If we do 85, it will be very moderate. 50 is for this character is kind of good. But this is, I'm just showing you how to make this. Then I will go to this plane here and make it double. When I make it double, I will be able to see it from whatever. And now, yeah, if you already don't know what this menu is, when I'm always checking stuff. This is the custom menu, ZZ Custom, that we have made in one of the first videos, and I'm calling it from Control-Shift-Alt-A because it's very close, the A, and it's not associated with any other things associated, A, so it's fine. So now I'm making this a cape. I'm putting it in, I'm putting it out, and it's now kind of a cape looking with a big move brush and symmetry. I turned on symmetry just now. I will be able to make it a better cape, better than ever. What else we want to make? Since the cape is touching the ground and then it's going outward, it's going back, I'll do that. How? It will be difficult, but we will manage probably. I have to mask this area here, then control click on the object, then invert the mask with control click outside the object, then control click again on the object to make this kind of feather of the mask, and now I'll press my pivot, put it down where the mask is, around here, and then rotate. And you can see how it goes like this. And now I'll probably will make a bigger mask, feather it again, and just pull this everything down like this. And since it will be lower than the legs, I will go ahead and use again the secret brush, which is Control Shift, press here, up here, you see it? Yeah. Clip curve brush, and at the whole time I'm holding Control Shift. Now I'm dropping it. Now I'm pressing Control Shift again, and yes. If you drag this the other way around, you will make a big mistake. Not that big, but still, you see. Now we have this. It's pretty good. We can make it like that. And probably we should make some little bit of a folds in there, because it will look too not good. So let's zero mesh it first. Go to 0, 1, target polygon count, zero mesh it. Let's see how much polygons it is. It's a little bit lower on polygons and the folds will be not very easy to make. So let's increase this at 0.45, for example. Now it's kind of better. And now I will disable symmetry because folds with symmetry are not very good. And with the standard brush, I'm just trying to make the folds work. So I'm imagining the folds from up here coming, and they will go straight down. There's no way the folds will go other direction, straight down, and then it will touch the ground and they will curve or do something like this. We'll see, but probably a curve. I'm just testing the waters, just testing to see how this will work, or is it gonna work at all. Probably it will. Moving those folds, maybe moving them up inwards a bit over the other. But yeah, you can make this with Marvelous Designer if you know how. It will be pretty easy to make this thing. But with ZBrush, we have to just rely on some references or some imagination. But you will have to have very good imagination to beat a reference, of course. And I'm not using reference now, since this is a kind of cartoon character, so we don't need too much folds. We just need them on the right places. Kind of right places. We even don't need them on very much right places, you know. We just have to make some folds. And don't make any other type of folds. It's a cape. It's holding itself only here and then in the ground, on the ground, and there cannot be folds like, for example, like this here. No, it's impossible. It will be just downwards and then like this. And it's a little bit boring, I know. So I will make them downward, but then a little bit on the side, because otherwise they will be parallel, and parallel things are pretty boring, especially on organic surfaces. If you're making a robot, yeah, parallel things, no problem, but organic, problem. Okay, touching the horns a bit. So we have made this cape, and it's not ready, of course. Let's press D to dynamically subdivide it. Yeah, we dynamically subdivided the horns, but it's okay. Let's subdivide the cape also. It's looking kind of good. Of course, it's not exactly looking perfect here, but probably when we accept the subdivisions, we can make it work kind of better. Because now we don't have enough polygons to make it look good. And as you can see, I'm changing between various brushes to achieve my goals. So if you wanna become better in ZBrush, you have to learn to change your brushes. And I'm changing brushes constantly. That's why I need these shortcuts, short keys. Without them, I will be ultra slow. It will just, you know, I'm thinking of something to do, and if I have to go ahead and change the brush from here, or go even through this menu, the brush menu, it will be hell. I cannot stand it, you know. That's why I use this this kind of methodology. Let's disable customize because it is making our canvas a bit smaller than it used to be, than it has to be. And here, I think it's fine, but we can push it a bit down and move this like that. Like that. Okay, I kind of like it. Let's make the dynamic subdivision on the... Ooh. My face is also, again, not visible. Sorry about that. But you don't need my face, you know. You hear my voice, which is cool, I think. So it's cool. But if you like my face, thank you. And let's continue. We have a few things that are still low poly and they are not dynamically subdivided. So let's dynamically subdivide this. Pressing D. It's not looking good. We have to crease. I always crease, so it's not a problem. We go to crease at 1. Don't crease it more because it will be awful. It will be super sharp, and super sharp corners are never good. Never make super sharp corners in 3D. The corners should be sharp enough, but not super sharp, because they have to take this kind of a specular on them. But you will notice that. This is a very good advice I'm giving you, so don't waste it. Now I will crease. And it's fine, but we need to make it thicker, I think. Alright, that looks fine. The other thing is, I will Shift D to disable this. I'll need a lip here. So, in order to make this lip, I will go to Z Modeler. And let's see, insert single edge loop. That's what I need. I will insert an edge loop here. And then I will mask these areas here. I'm control masking. And I think I have masked. Yeah, I think I masked them. Then I will control click to reverse the mask. Now I need my pivot here, but it's gone. So I'll alt click here, and then I'll move this, then probably rotate it a bit, and then move it again. And then while we have this kind of a base, I will move with the move brush from below, from every possible angle, to see how this works. That's why, and I always say that, of course, it's extremely important that you can navigate, rotating, moving, panning, zooming, everything you should be able to do. But you won't be able to do it if you don't practice it. So if you are starting this model with me and you are working with me, you'll probably at the end will be kind of used to the way ZBrush works, which is perfect. And that's why you have to do it. Then I will crease this, because you see when I press D to go to dynamic subdivision, we don't have a corner here and we need it. So I'll go to one edge, press space, crease, edge loop complete, it's pressed, and I will press here. And now I will have a little bit of an edge. Of course, when we accept the subdivisions, we can make a bigger edge or whatever. Let's try to make an edge here to see what happens. Why not? It's fine. I like it. Not the best, but I like it. So let's see it now. Not very nice, because this helmet is going inward. But it's easier for me just to increase it forward, or just increase it forward is very good thing to say. It's a very strange face. I think we should make a face below this, below the mask, which should be a bit more interesting and sympathetic. Who knows? We can make something very good. Or the opposite. We can make something pretty bad. So let's go to the armor, just alt click on it to select it from the subtools. You can see I'm very good at almost everything, but at just browsing through the subtools without going at all here. I don't work here almost. Sometimes I need this to see, to select my newest things that I have added. But most of the time I'm working in my area here. And I even can work with like this without most of the interface, which is kind of clean. This is when you press tab. So don't be scared, because sometimes you will press tab just without intention. And don't be scared if this happens. Just press tab again and it will be okay. That's good to know. That's a good tip, I think. So now, what else we might do? We might end this video and let's press perspective. Let's see. It's starting to look almost exactly like the concept, not perfectly like the concept, of course. It will require a lot more work to look perfectly, but probably we will even not make it look exactly like the concept. We'll make it kinda like the concept, because the idea of this tutorial is not to make this perfect. The idea is to learn the basics of ZBrush, learn the things that you will definitely need to sculpt with ZBrush in the beginning, and at the end also. The end is the beginning is the end. Make this sharper. It will look interesting, sharp, I think. Yes. So for now this will be our thing. We will continue next time either with the hands, the arms, or maybe we could work a little bit on the sword. It will be interesting, so don't miss it. Here we are again. This time it will be again for 20 minutes. So this time is like the last time. It's like every time. Let's try and press D while we are on the body armor. Press D. Ooh, it's looking pretty nice. But we will also do something else. Let's crease it, but let's see which is in the middle. Okay, we have a middle here, which is fine. And I will do this. I will get it solo because it will be easier to work with the solo. Then go to Z modeler, go to a the middle edge and press space. While holding space, crease, edge loop complete. Press those two and then crease it. But it's not gonna be very good because you see it's super sharp, it doesn't have any specular. So Control Z. Why? Because the crease is equal to the crease level here, which is 15, which is a lot. It will be the sharpest. So we'll go to 1. And then crease, and then press D to see what's happening. It's not quite good, but we will have to increase the dynamic subdivisions to see. Let's increase it to 4. And it's not exactly perfect again. So it's not very good, especially in this area here in the front. But it's not bad either. I mean, it's not the best. So let's try at 2. Crease it at level 2. Let's go to 2. Here. 2. Enter. And just press. And now it's a bit better. And I think this will be nice. Let's now try to make this work. Because until the middle area, it should be more straight. Everything should be straighter before the middle area. Okay, we can crease this also, but this is not looking very good here. I don't know why. Let's see. Okay, the topology of all those things is not very good because it's not good. It's not good, even worse than not good. Let's try it with the lesser topology and to see what's going on. Oh, it's amazingly bad. So let's try it with a little bit more, but not too much. 0.2, for example. Wow, this is completely not good. So yeah, it's difficult. So what I want is to have lines along this line here, along here. Let's try something else. I will show you something here, which is very interesting. When you zero mesh, which is this thing here, zero mesher. Yeah, when you zero mesh, you can put guidelines to guide the zero mesher to put edge loops there. So we go to B and select the zero mesher guideline brush. How to find it? It's Z and then zero mesher guides. Zero mesher guides, press it, and now we can drag guidelines where we want them to be. Exactly on those lines. If we are able to have the edge loops going exactly on these lines, we will be in a very great shape. But let's see, it's sometimes it doesn't work exactly as planned. So we just have to hope it will work. Just a little bit of a hope. And I'm not using those guidelines too often. I rarely use them. But sometimes when I want a good topology on some places, I just use them. So we have them now. Let's try to zero mesh. Just zero mesh when the guidelines are active. And it's absolutely hideous. If we can say hideous, it's hideous. And it's definitely hideous. It's not very good. Although, yeah, it's not very good, obviously. But the thing is that the lower poly count we have, the better it will be to adjust our geometry. So maybe we should work with this kind of polygons that we have, for example, now. Let's try this. Let's go to our move brush. So the Z guidelines sometimes work, sometimes don't work that much. In this case that we had, they didn't work. But in some cases, I'm just showing them to you to know that they exist. You can check them out, you can test them. For you, in some cases they could work, in some not that much. Yeah, here we have a problem, obviously, which is a big problem, and I don't know if we can decide, I mean, if we can fix this problem, but let me see now. I don't want these polygons here, so I will connect them together and then I will weld points. And I think they have welded, which is kind of good. Then I will go to Z modeler, go to a point. At this point we haven't got to a point yet. So go to a point, press space, and then stitch. And then press 1, 2. And they are stitched. And then press, again go to Z modeler, stitch, press 1, and then press 2. And we are good. Draw size, I just made it 0. I will make it bigger. This menu sometimes appears, not sometimes, every time appears when you press space and you are not on the model. You press space, it appears this menu. You have this, you have to select colors and stuff. I don't use it that much, this menu, but it's fine. It's fine that it appears. So with the move brush, we'll try to make this exactly what we want it to be. Just with the move brush, and arm yourself with not only move brush but patience, and we can do it. Patience will be greatly required here. Okay. Yeah, and since we have very little poly count, very less polygons, or not so many polygons, if we can say so, we have a greater control over everything. Of course, here, this becomes very, very bad. And yeah, I don't like it, of course. This is not good. But we don't have a choice now, because we already have started doing this. And if we zero mesh now, it will be to start from all over again. And this won't be that visible probably in the long run. So we might be cool with this. Yeah, from afar, we just get the backside. If it was visible, and because it wouldn't be, because of the cape, but if it was visible, we would be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, I'm saying it because it's like this. We could do something else. We could delete some of the polygons. For example, let's do it. Let's delete, oops. We have to go here with Control Shift and change our brush to select rectangle, and then Control Alt Shift and drag until we delete those polygons. And we need to delete those too, but we will delete them manually. I will show you how. Let's del hidden because we don't need them. Del hidden. Here in the back, let's see what we have. Yeah, they won't be that visible. And we will delete all those polygons in the bottom here. So let's do it by going to a polygon, press space while we are on Z modeler brush, of course, delete a single poly and start to delete some polygons here. And of course, when we delete all those polygons, we have an island and we can delete the whole island. We just change the action to delete an island, which is absolutely legit. We can delete also this edge loop here and we will be fine. And this edge loop was let me think a bit. How I deleted this edge loop, you will ask. I deleted it by accident. No, I deleted it when we have, because I am now on insert single edge loop. But how I deleted it? With Alt. Because now I created, with Alt I deleted. So this is the Alt version of this brush. Okay, move. Yeah, this takes a lot of time, obviously, and it shouldn't, but it does. So I think it's cool, but it's better to be having a good topology and then, you know, than to have bad topology. Wow, so wise, so wise. I don't know why, how I got this, you know, super, you know, wise things. Let's go to delete again single poly and delete those. And I think we are ready for thickness. So now we will use it to make thickness, but not now. Let's first make it a little bit more, you know, interesting. Not interesting, but to look better, at least. I think it's looking fine, but let's see. Okay, it's okay. We will crease and it will look fine. So for now, I would need to make a thickness. So the thickness will be great. I mean, big thickness. Let's do this. So extrude all polygons and inward. Big thickness. And then flip it. And now we have this thing which is more like an armor. And I appreciate it more. And this is better. Except for this part here, but hopefully this part will forgive us, because it will be kind of difficult to do it. So we'll leave it like this. Very bad and very heavy decision of our side, but we have to make it because we don't have a choice. But yeah, let's make it. We have a little bit of time, so we can try to do it. How to fix this? So we go to we're going to delete some polygons here. Delete a single poly, this, and this. And now we have to just connect them together. Let me see how we can do this connection. It will be difficult because we have between this part. We can try to erase it. Let's try Alt. Hopefully we haven't deleted something important. Okay. And from here also we can erase this. And it doesn't matter too much. And now we can connect them by going to an edge. For example, this edge. Then go to a bridge. And just press this one and then press this one. It doesn't happen. So again, press this one and then press this one. And now it had happened. Now press this one. It's difficult to press them because we have a lot of edges behind. And it's pretty difficult. But if you got it, maybe with the mouse will be easier. No, I haven't got it. Let's do this. No. I don't know working now. Let's try it again. Oops. It has happened. Now it is good. And now I will connect this point. I will stitch it. Okay, I will stitch this point to this point. And now it's kind of working. I mean, it's barely good looking. Not quite perfect, but it's, like I said, bearable. Maybe bearable, it's a good thing to say. Let's try to Dynamesh it. No, not Dynamesh. Dynamesh, never Dynamesh. We will dynamically subdivide it and then we crease. Let's try it too. Okay. We have something here. Let's crease some other things here. Crease, edge loop complete, this one. Very good. Let's crease this one. Also good. We don't care about those things because they are not visible. We only care about these things here. And they're looking pretty good. Let's crease also this area. And it's starting to look pretty awesome. I don't know if you understood even half of the things that I did to make this armor look fine. But if you did, thanks to the explanations beforehand of, about those things, it will be just amazing. And this will mean that you already are pretty familiar with ZBrush and its functions. And that is what we wanted to achieve, of course. So now we will push this inwards. So we'll get this kind of a thing. Let's see it. It's looking kind of good. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So it's kind of in between. We see that here we have some empty space behind the head and also empty space where the legs are, but this in the legs we don't care. We care about this one. So we will put a sphere under the head to be able to fill this space. Let's append here from subtool, append sphere 3D, and it's kind of somewhere there, the sphere. We will find it in the bottom of our subtool menu. Yes, and where is it? It's just behind the head. So I will pull it down with W. Of course, I'm calling my pivot. I'll make it bigger. I'll pull it back, and then with the move brush and symmetry, I will push it backwards here also, so it will be just behind the head, barely visible. And this, I think, is pretty nice looking already. So we are on the right path here, hopefully. And one thing we have, which is still low poly, is those not shoulders, those things on the legs. So the knee armor, and I will have to press D, and then, which is dynamic subdivision, of course, it's D, go to 4, crease it at 1, crease, and then we have to crease it manually with Z modeler. Just crease this, and probably also this. And it's starting to look not very good, but not very bad. We can refine it later, of course. Other thing we want to do is press D on this and see what happens. It's not super perfect, but I think we can handle this. We can make it a bit like this. It doesn't have to be that sterile, yeah. And what else we can do is maybe start working on the hands. But the hands are a little bit tricky, because this hand will be like this, like it is now. But the other hand will have to pose, but it's not the problem. I will show you how to pose. Even with a lot of subtools, we'll be able to pose. And now our model is starting to look pretty awesome. Let me show you in the next video how to make those spikes here. I will show you 2 ways to make the spikes. One you know already, to append a cone and then put it with the pivot to rotate it, to move it until it fits where we want it to be. Maybe there's another way. Let's see, B. And then we go to some primitives. We have to have primitives here. I'm not sure where exactly they are, but we should find them at some point. Yeah, they're here. So let's see if we have a cone. Basically, we don't have a cone here. Let's see the other primitives. We don't have a cone here either. And that's unfortunate, because it will be easier if we had a cone in there. But if we don't worry if you don't have some of these brushes, because some of them mesh insert dot. Okay, we have this. Let's press M. No. So what's going on? Oh, it's not good. Okay, we will not work with this. Okay. So this will be for this video. I will show you how to make those conical spikes. Maybe in the next video or something else. We'll see. Nobody knows, but we'll see. So, bye for now. So this video will be very exciting because I will show you 3 ways of making those kind of spikes here on the shoulders. So first way is very straightforward. We will go to our subtool palette, then append, here, append, and then we go to a cone 3D. Nice. Let's try it, cone 3D. And the cone is appearing here inside, so we will just click on it here on the subtool menu, on the subtools. Maybe we can increase the count of the subtools. This increase count of the subtools menu is appearing first time, I think, in ZBrush 2019. So if you have lower version of ZBrush, you might think of upgrading because this is comfortable. Now we can click on it, and then we have to move it around this area. So this will be done by how? Think about it. Pressing W to get this the pivot and just dragging it here. So this will be one of our, let's turn on polyframe here. This will be one of our spikes. The thing is that this is not looking super nice, but let's try it. Let's press D to subdivide it, and it's super sharp, and it's not maybe the best option. We can of course decrease the sharpness by going to Z modeler brush, the Z modeler brush, and then insert single edge loop, and with Alt we will just delete some edge loops like this. Let's try it now. Okay, it will be a bit better, but this is a bit not that good. And then we might have to, of course, make it little, make it smaller, and then with Alt rotate it. But since I'm rotating with perspective, it will be a bit difficult, but not a problem. Yeah. Now we can rotate by the red axis and then put it where it belongs here. So this is one of the ways we can make our spikes. The thing is that I have to make them a bit smaller. We need adjustments, but with all of the ways that we can make them, we will need to make those kind of adjustments. Just doing. Notice that with the move tool, with this this 3D pivot, the thing is that with the white circle, you're rotating according to your camera. So the white circle is always straightforward to our camera. We can rotate, and with others, they're always to the axes. So it's up to you which one you will use. So now I think this is it. And how to make it appear on the other places? It will be manual with all the ways that we will do it. It will be manual. Control and drag will give us another instance, which we can put like this, rotate, and just put it in the right place. Okay, then again put our camera like this, because if you do it like that, it's not a problem, but you will need to rotate again. So yeah, rotate, put it here, and put it inward with the green. Yes, and then another one, control drag, rotate, rotate without control, and maybe one more, control drag, rotate, put it here. And that's the first way we can do this. And I will show you other ways, which will be basically the same as we'll have to put them over. So in order to get out of the mask, you just, you know, it was masked, everything but the last one. We just control drag outside the object and we get rid of the mask. Now this is that we have a very sharp area here, which I don't like, but we can always smooth it, and it would be a little bit smarter to smooth it before we start to multiply it. But whatever, it's just the way it is. So what else we might do? Let's just with one big move brush just put it on the right path. It looks fine. We can of course mirror and okay, and it will be like this, and you will see how this little detail is making the model look a bit more interesting. So it's fine, but we will delete it. Okay, it's no more here. and we don't have save, so we're doomed. But we will try something else. So first, we may make, this will be a little bit complicated, not too much, but let's hear me out. Just you need to be aware that this is an option. You don't need to do it, but just be aware that this is an option. I will just push this a bit inwards because it's too much interfering with the shoulder in this area. So a little bit like this. And I think now it's better. So the next way is to copy, to duplicate whatever part we want from the object. For example, I can duplicate the shoulders. So duplicate the shoulders. And now we are on the duplicate of the shoulders. And now we go to our pivot with W, press W, and then we go to this customize menu here, which is this green gear, this gear, press it, and then we can get cone 3D here. We can get another things. So what this do is this will convert our object that we are currently on to one of those primitives here, which is kind of useful because we can control them better from here. I will show you. So press it, and sorry, symmetry. Okay, we will disable symmetry and try again. Maybe with symmetry it doesn't work. Okay, so now we have this cone. Sometimes it makes it very small, but we have it here. So you won't see it because it's there, but if you press W again, you will have the option to make it bigger and put it here, for example. And now I like this cone a little bit better. So now press W again on the cone itself and press it again. So you'll have these options here. Let's turn on this and Shift D to disable dynamic subdivisions. Now we have the options on all these primitives here. We have the option to just make this, you know, to add, and here also we don't need that much polygons for this, especially on pieces like this cone that we will multiply a couple of times. I prefer to have control over the poly count. So the other cone that we had before is this poly count, and when we subdivide it enough, it will be a lot of polygons. This one in the beginning will start with a lot less polygons, which I think is cooler. So now I can go ahead and remove my perspective just to be able to move this point backwards a bit, so it will be not that sharp. Okay, and then I will press D to subdivide it. Now it looks more like from this area, because those spikes are not super sharp, you know. And I told you, nothing in ZBrush should be very sharp. So this is the other way we can do it. And now we can, of course, place it as exactly like the other one here. We can just do this and then just control drag and place it and stuff. But we will leave this. We'll disable the visibility of it, and I will show you the other way, which is very simple and very fast way. But for this we'll need to duplicate the shoulders again, because I don't want to use that way. I prefer to use the way that I've shown you just now. But I will show you the other way. So duplicate the shoulders, then solo them. So now we are on the duplicate shoulders. The other ones are there, but the duplicates are here. So now there's a little bit new thing. So now we have dynamic subdivisions. We don't have real subdivisions. We have dynamic subdivisions, and there are 5 of them. Maybe they are too much, but we'll see. We can apply those subdivisions and they will appear here as real subdivisions. Let's try it. Apply, and now we have 6 total subdivisions. We can drag them here, or we can press D to go up subdivisions, or Shift D to go down. You see here how they change. D a couple of times, Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, until we go down. So we go up with a couple of times D, and then we have symmetry, and then we just make this, a masks on the places that we want those spikes. That's very easy. Then we reverse the mask by control clicking outside the object, and then with simple move brush we go press with Alt and drag, and it will go like this, and then we can smooth it. Of course it's not exact science here, but you see what I mean, how you can do it. Press with Alt and just drag, and then smooth with Shift. Just smooth with Shift, smooth with Shift. And this is not the most, how do I say, elegant way, but it's working, and also makes our spikes more cartoonish, more what we want them to be, and that's very, very cool. But for this we need to apply subdivisions, to have real subdivisions, which is a little bit not that, how do I say, flexible, not that flexible. So yeah, you will decide which way to use. I can use this, and then I can, for example, remove symmetry, make this, smooth it, and this will be good. You see, with the clay tubes I'm just making some places where his armor is eaten by bugs. No, it was chipped, so it's cool. It's chipped to some places, and this is a stylized way of making kind of armor damage. Yes, and we can also make some real damage with the normal brush, but it doesn't. We don't need to do it. Let's see everything and remove the other shoulders, and I think I can keep that shoulders. I show you the other ways, and I like the result of this way the most, so I will keep it for now. We have the other shoulder if we need it. I just disable the visibility of it, but we have it, so if we need it we can always go and take it. So now we may start doing some things for the arm, just those things here. We might need to do those, to extract those things and make them thicker or make them thickness, or we can leave them like this. It's up to us. Let's extract them. Let's extract them to practice extractions. So how to do this? Be very careful when you mask, because we need to mask first. Don't go over the edge like this. Don't. Just stay away from the edges, because after you extract, it will be bad. You know, so stay away from the edges. That's my advice. You can try to go over the edges, and then you will see, because you will see that it's not good, because you need mostly you need a straight surface without too much things on the edge. So it will be best after extract to just adjust it manually than to go over the edge here. So this, let's extract it. So I just masked with control and dragging, mask it. We don't have symmetry on the arms, which I don't care. So extract, because we can always, of course, mirror. It's very easy. Extract, accept, then make it solo, just to show you. So when we extract and accept, ZBrush is just jumping to our new subtool that it created, and we can Control Shift click to isolate only this group, then del hidden. And del hidden is, I haven't shown you, but yeah, it's here in modified topology, del hidden. It's a little bit, you know, from modified topology I'm using only mirror and weld, del hidden, weld points sometimes, and close holes, nothing else. And there are a lot of things here, so it's a little bit confusing. That's why I have it here, because it's one of my most used things. Del hidden, and then zero mesher on the low count. And sometimes zero mesher, when the things go very thin, it makes mistakes. So let's try to get rid of this by a little bit bigger count there. Yes, it's cool. Yeah, you just have to Control Z and try again when you have this kind of obvious bugs, but it's not exactly a big issue, because it's not exactly a big issue, you know. So I'm just dragging with my high polish brush and then move brush here. Then I will show everything, and we can even deflate this a bit because it's too much outside the object itself, which is not good. Deflate it a bit, so inflate, but on the other side, and it's here. And I can zero mesh it again just to see what's happening. Every zero mesh that you made, it will make the smoother geometry, which sometimes is good, sometimes is not that good, but in our case here it's fine. Smoother geometry is fine for us. Now we can continue on the other places, but first let's move this. I want to make this good, the border here to be better looking. That's why we have a separate object now. That's why I extracted it, because we have more control, and that's a cool thing. So let's now, don't forget, I switched to the arm now, so I'm on the arm. Don't forget to disable this mask and before you make new one, because otherwise you will have a problem. It will extract both, and yeah, you don't want that. So disable one mask by control dragging outside the object, and now we are making this mask. Making the mask with control, just with control drawing on the object, making the mask, rotating, moving, everything. And now I will extract this. Extract, accept, again, Control Shift click, del hidden, and then zero mesher on the lowest. Let's see if it will make some problems. Yes, it had made some very huge problems here. I'm not sure why. Let's see. Let's make it with a little bit bigger polygon count here. Okay, now it's a bit better, although it has some issues here, which I don't know why they appear, but it's not exactly a big problem. So now I will deflate it again to match more the hand below, and then I will move this to go below the other armor. All right, and this is looking promising. Of course, we will need to zero mesh it a few more times probably. Let's try. Okay, it's a bit better. We can use this. And probably this will be it for this video, of course. And yeah, we'll continue in the next one, where I will show you some other things. And maybe we can start making the sword, or we'll see. So bye for now.